Welcome to Into the Heart. It's good to have you with us again. Today, in this video, we're going to talk about how sometimes problems might be a sign that your child is developing and growing. It's not a sign that you're failing as a parent. And before we dive into that, I want to acknowledge a couple things that probably all of us have experienced. It's this thing of where people around us in our communities, our neighbors, our peers, our parents, whomever, especially if we are new parents, people seem to feel compelled by their good intentions to give us advice or feedback on our parenting or our children's behavior. And this often comes with a reception of a message that may not be intended, but it certainly can strike us that, oh, I'm failing, or I'm not doing good enough, or my kids are somehow messed up, or I'm messing them up, or whatever. And we can be really hard on ourselves. And you know what? God bless those people who are trying to encourage or advise us. And sometimes, whether it's the way they say it or the way we take it, it's not so helpful. And there are instances where there's new behavior from our kids and things are going off track, and we're scratching our heads and we're trying our best, and like, what the heck is going on here? We're asking ourselves. And it can be a sign that our child is developing, they're growing, they're changing, and that's good. And it's challenging because we now need to grow and adapt and change and find new ways of engaging with them according to this new stage of growth and life and development that our child is displaying. And I want to say that we want to give our child the message that what we want for and from them is not perfection, but progress. And we need to have and hold that same grace for ourselves as parents. It's progress, not perfection, because the name of the game is development and maturation, not perfection, as children and as parents. So, when our child is displaying this new and confusing behavior, what we need to do is understand, what is this about? What is this rooted in? What is my child now needing? The principle of discipline is not synonymous with punishment. It's synonymous with the structure that is needed to supplement or supply for how my child is not yet fully mature. So, with this new behavior, the question is, what are they needing? What are they lacking? What is the guidance or the structure or the routine or the sense of identity or even maybe responsibility that my child's needing? Responsibility, for example, of like, you're a big sister. It's part of your role as a big sister to look out for your little brother who tends to do X, Y, and Z. And so you know how to do such and such or how to behave, and so I need you to be a model for him, like evoking that alpha caregiver instinct that is appropriate in a peer relationship where one can be in the alpha position rather than the dependent position to offer guidance, support, security, safety, and so on. Not in a parental way, but in a peer way. Anyways, that's a bit of a rabbit trail. Let's get back on track here. What is my child needing in this new behavior that they're displaying? I need to understand what this is about so I can respond to it, so I can offer the discipline that is needed. For example, suppose you have a little boy who's turning 4 or 5-ish, and his testosterone levels are going up, but his prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that's responsible for mixed feelings and tempering our emotions and our reactions and self-regulating ourselves, that part of the brain comes online age 5 to 7. But he's not there yet. And so he's got bigger muscles and bigger emotions, and he's maybe more aggressive and angry in his displays of frustration or desire, and he can't handle himself. He's losing his mind, he's flipping his lid, he's losing control. And what do I do with this child? And you might, if this is something that you are in the middle of, you might be noticing, well, I try to punish him, or I threaten him with taking stuff away or whatever, or I spank him, or I try to hold him in the futility. I just kept repeating it over and over. Oh yeah, this is really hard, Billy, because you really want such and such, and you can't have it, and that's just too bad, isn't it? And I try to like do all the things that I read in books, and I might even try to like talk through it with him and like engage his upstairs brain, as you'll read in wonderful and very helpful books like The Whole Brain Child or The Yes Brain Child. But in the moment, trying to talk through it with Billy just enrages him. It doesn't engage him. And then we're left confused. What am I supposed to do? Well, let's make use of this developmental stage. His prefrontal cortex is not developed enough to hold on to two things at once, like I care about my little sister and I want that toy. If he wants that toy, that's the only thing in his brain. Let's take advantage of that single track mind and let's bump tracks. Let's redirect the attention. And sometimes gentle redirection doesn't work, like if we're all soft and whatever, and oh, well, how about we just go and sit on the couch? He's still on that one track. He needs us to bump tracks for him. Whoa, squirrel! What? And he will reorient his attention for a moment. We got him. And we can engage him on a different track. And once he's engaging with us, we can then start priming his mixed feelings, because his prefrontal cortex can't do it on its own. We got to lend him ours. And we prime and we remind him of the care that he has, the love he has for his little sister, or whatever the situation is, or remind him of instances where he was protective, or how much fun they had together. Engage him in these positive things on this different track. And then once he's on this track, we can also bring him back parallel to the other track. So he's holding two things at once. And we're actually priming the development that will come for where he will be able to have mixed feelings, where he can want this thing, but hold himself back because he also values or cares for X, Y, and Z on this track. He can't do it on his own yet. That's not a defect. That's just a state of his current level of development. But we can help him start doing that. So we redirect, we bump the tracks. We can prime those mixed feelings, those dual tracks of the things he cares about and the good kid that he is and the good things that he does, and also that he really wanted this thing. And of course, it's upsetting when he wants that and he can't necessarily have what he wanted right then and there. And we might notice that our child reaches for comfort when they're in trouble. And it confuses us because it's like, I don't want to reward this behavior with comfort, or what makes this kid think that I want to hug them right now? But they instinctually will feel separation anxiety. They feel distressed when they're in trouble because part of them knows they've done something wrong and you're not happy with them. And you might be making that very clear. And that raises their anxiety level. And if we don't answer that part of their most primitive brain and primitive need to know that this relationship is going to survive this incident, and if we deny that reassurance about the relationship and our love for them, we might actually escalate them more. Because instinctually they need to know that they matter more than this failed behavior. And that you love them still. And you're not going to abandon them and feed them to the wolves. They need to know that. And so they instinctually reach for reassurance, for a hug, to sit on your lap, or they snuggle up against your arm or something. This same need for reassurance, sometimes kids just fall in line and they start behaving properly because they're in what we call intensified pursuit. They're intensely pursuing the repair of the relationship because they know they messed up, and you're angry at them, and their instincts tell them, Mom and Dad, I need to re-secure their love so they don't abandon me or reject me or throw me to the wolves. And we have an opportunity as parents in this moment to practice and use our own prefrontal cortex. Because on one level, we don't like our child very much in this moment, perhaps. And on another level, we need to remind ourselves that we do love them. And that can help you regulate in the moment too. If you're really not liking your child, maybe take a few seconds and a few deep breaths and think of 3 things that you do like about your child. Help yourself before you help them. Put your own air mask on, get your own prefrontal cortex functioning before you try to lend it to them. But anyways, let me get back to this point. You have an opportunity because when they reach for comfort, that's a good sign. That's a good sign because it means they're still attached to you, and we've got to work the relationship. And so what I mean in this instance is offer that relationship. Offer that nonverbal reassurance that you care about them by tenderly rubbing their back or letting them sit on your lap or whatever it is that nonverbally is communicating to them, I still love you and our relationship is going to be okay and we're going to get through this together. Older kids, you might actually even verbalize that, but with a little child, they need to experience it. And it grounds them, and it might bring them down, and it might make it that much easier to navigate this incident with them. And then, with that reassurance and the nervous system is calming down, they might be able to engage with you even that much more on how to handle this. Final few notes here. As I said in the beginning, I want to say it again, be patient with yourselves. And when you're trying, whether it's this or any other new parenting strategy to try to respond to this new thing or behavior that you're observing with your child, be patient with yourself, be patient with them, especially if things have been a little off the rails for a while, because if so, your child might actually be a little bit guarded and they might have lost their sense of security that you are in control and you know what you're doing and it's going to be okay. And when you throw something new at them, think about how that is for you. When something new comes at you and you're not sure what to do with it or where this is going to go, you yourself probably don't know how to take it. It's like learning a new dance move. Their development is pushing the two of you into something new. And now you're introducing some new dance moves of how do we do this relationship now that we're in this new stage. And they're going to need to learn what their corresponding dance steps are in this new way of navigating life together. And so be patient with yourselves. You're both learning some new things here. And their guard might need to come down so that they can rest with the reassurance that mom or dad is in control enough that we're going to get through this and the world is safe enough. Please let me know what your thoughts are on all this. You can drop a comment down below or send me an email at brian@intotheheart.ca if you have any particular questions or you want to pursue this topic a little bit more. Email me or help the algorithm of YouTube a little bit so other people find this, and drop a comment in the chat of what you think, how this goes. Even maybe you might have some ideas to tag on to this. Let's help each other out. And I want to say that if you're watching this, that suggests to me that you really care about your children and you're trying hard and you've maybe had a tough go at it. And I want to encourage you, because that care that you have and the fact that you've spent 14 minutes and 49 seconds up to this point watching this is a sign of how much you care And that is getting through to your kids, believe it or not. And that is what is going to get the two of you through. Don't give up. You're doing well. And we can work on this together.